Hi everyone. In today's webinar, you'll learn how to easily expand your business into LTL by leveraging our no-cost integration with uShip's LTL marketplace. And because you're already using Load Manager TMS software, you have everything you need to get started. All right, well, I just want to welcome you to the LTL Integrations for Success webinar. I am Scott Weber, a senior TMS consultant with Load Manager TMS software. Your host today is Sam Eli, the VP of LTL Operations with uShip. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Samuel.
Yep, thank you so much. I want to take everyone through this integration between Load Manager and uShip. And here's a quick agenda that we're going to walk through today. Give you a background on uShip and a background on the LTL industry. Walk through a demo of what it looks like on Load Manager. Have the opportunity for any question and answers, and then we'll talk through next steps. So for those of you unfamiliar with uShip is a 20-year-old transportation marketplace that moves anything larger than parcel. We help with technology that connects people and businesses to find and book transportation capacity. We work with a lot of the or all of the logos on this screen. On uShip, you can move anything under the sun. We move cars, heavy equipment, motorcycles, large and bulky furniture in a white glove fashion, but today we're here to talk about moving LTL freight, and that's what I focus on. The opportunity here is for people that are moving strictly truckload today to move LTL freight very easily now with Load Manager. So for those of you familiar with LTL, this is your wheelhouse, but LTL is just freight larger than 150 pounds and typically less than 15,000 pounds. This varies by carrier and what rules they have set up and prefer, but typically it's less than 10 pallets or 10 linear feet of trailer space, and it's going to move through a hub and spoke network of transportation, not a load to ride. The reason we're talking here and the reason that Load Manager integrated with uShip is to increase the service offering that you can do on Load Manager. And it's also because full truckload shippers have LTL shipments too. And when you're on the phone with them talking about FTL freight, you can start asking them about their LTL shipments because you can handle them easily now with Load Manager. Through this integration, you now have access to low discounted blanket rates from the top 25 LTL carriers in the United States. These are some of the logos. And the thing to note here is that all the pricing that you're going to see, it's all based on dimensional-based pricing. There's no freight class needed. So if you have the DIMS and the weight, you do not need to understand the complex NMFC freight class classification system, because everything's going to be converted into a pounds per cubic feet, which is then converted into a freight class. And we can talk through that when we get into the demo. It's a very simple user experience inside a Load Manager, and we'll look at that in a second, but you can rate, book, track, and manage the invoicing lifecycle. Just like you do full truckload shipments, you can do it for LTL freight inside of Load Manager. And with that, I'm going to flip over to Load Manager, and we're going to talk through and book an LTL shipment. So on your dashboard, you're just going to go to Add Loads when you're on your My Loads tab. So we're going to create a new load, and this is the same load for a full truckload freight shipment. A lot of this is not going to be required for LTL shipments, so it makes it a little bit easier. You're going to say the customer that we're going to be working with, we're working with Bass Pro Shop. Because you would have already built up the customer profile, all you need to do is put in and select the pickup location, the delivery location. You're going to put in the pickup date. So let's say we want this freight to get picked up on the 12th. And then you're going to put in the description. This is different by profile inside of Load Manager, but in this case, let's say we're moving plastic plumbing parts. And here's where I was talking through, all you need are the dimensions and the weight. And you don't need to know the freight class or the NMFC code for specific plumbing parts, which often are also based on density. So I believe I have everything we need here in order to save this load. And once I save the load number ending in 732, we can now come down here and say LTL rates, and we're going to change this in Load Manager from a full truckload to an LTL shipment. We're going to say yes, we want to do that. Here it allows us to select any pickup or delivery accessorials that might be required for the shipment. It's always good to use Google Maps if you're unsure of the location type on the pickup or delivery so that you can select, the limited access pickup location type if required. And I can say get rates. At this time, the integration between Load Manager and uShip is kicked off, and we're going to start seeing rates return inside the TMS. uShip has blanket pricing from a variety of the top 25 LTL carriers. You can see on-time percentages, you can see the transit time in days, and you can see the price. There's different service levels, standard service, guaranteed service, etc. by carrier. And depending on the lane, you can see, many carriers. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm comfortable booking with Southeastern Freight Lines. My customer likes the price that I quoted them. I can click book. And I'm going to use the saved payment method on file. In this case, I'm using a credit card, but when you work through this integration, we can also get you set up on net terms so that you don't have to use a credit card to book your freight. This is all set up in a quick process that I can help onboard customers through, where we set up a quick uShip account, we put a payment method on file or get you set up on terms, and then we get your API key loaded into Load Manager so that this all works very easily. I'm going to go ahead and click book now.
Obviously, we have some handshaking going on between the two systems.
Exactly. Currently, the shipment's being booked on uShip, but it's also being dispatched to the LTL carrier. The load's been booked successfully. And now if we go to this, takes you back to the shipment. It's been booked with Southeastern Freight Lines, MC, DOT number shown, the contact information for the carrier. And then here is the bill of lading that's created. So uShip generates the bill of lading and it's sent through the API connection to Load Manager. So this is what can be sent to the pickup location so that they know on the 12th, Southeastern Freight Lines is coming out. The shipment's already been dispatched and confirmed with Southeastern Freight Lines on this day. You can see everything about the shipment, commodity, weight, and here's where you can see, here's where uShip converted the dimensions and weight into pounds per cubic feet. And then our pricing agreements all say this pounds per cubic feet equals this class based on density. So as long as the dimensions and weight are accurate and the accessorial services are as quoted, the price that you just saw and the 176 amount that was booked here, that will be the final invoice amount. The tracking information is going to populate here on, excuse me, on Load Manager as the shipment goes through its life cycle, and you'll get tracking updates. And this is also all available through a publicly available URL on uShip, and that gets sent to your email at the time of booking. I'm not as versed in the life cycle of managing the invoices after booking as you all are, because that's what you use you use Load Manager on a daily basis. But the invoicing life cycle works just like a full truckload shipment as it does for LTL. That's how easy it is. I talked through that and it took us a couple minutes, but once you understand this, you can literally book an LTL shipment in 2 minutes, start to finish. And because it's companies like FedEx Freight and all the LTL common carriers, it's more commoditized. Um, it's more commoditized capacity, and it's more reliable. And I hate to say easy, but it's pretty easy to move LTL freight. I know there's a stigma in the full truckload community that sometimes it can be, messy or difficult, but through this integration, it does make it pretty easy. I'm going to stop doing the demo. I'm going to flip back here. The next steps are anyone that's on the call or is watching this webinar afterwards, if you email s1@uship.com or give me a call, we can help onboard you and get this set up inside your instance of Load Manager. It'll take not very much time at all, and you can at least play around with it. There's no requirement to book a shipment, even if you just want to give it a demo and try it out for yourself and start quoting some of your full truckload customers on their LTL freight. That's the end of our quick webinar.
Now that you see how easy it is to book LTL shipments directly in Load Manager TMS, all you have to do to get started is contact Samuel at uShip. Many of our customers are already doing this with great success. If you have any questions, please contact Sam or call us here at Load Manager TMS Software. Thanks and have a great day.